Oh, okay. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to discuss this case, and thank you for the many blessings that you provide us. Thank you for giving us health, a house to stay in, and all the nourishment and the love that you provide us. And thank you for blessing us with our loved ones and our families. And thank you for protecting us from all that's going around in our environment, our society. And please protect and offer guidance to people that are struggling this time of the need. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. So I'm going to start reading the questions from this case, and this is off the agenda. Okay. So basically, I guess I can ask the question, and then you can respond, and then I'll go to the next question, and then I'll respond. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is what is Armstrong's legacy?
Well, I think his legacy kind of shifted initially because at the very beginning, his legacy was he was this basically an unbeatable cyclist. He was able to win the 7 Tour de France competitions. Like very, very, he gave the impression and the legacy of a very talented cyclist.
Mm-hmm.
However, with the whole basically snafu with the drugs and everything like that, the legacy kind of became one shifted from one of extreme athleticism to one of drug use is basically what it's become. And sadly, it's it's tarnished both his view, his legacy, and kind of a lot of people's view on a lot of those type of events and those type of activities of
Mm-hmm.
they're only going to perform well if they do the drug use. It's kind of the legacy that's been left behind it from it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's pretty good assessment. I remember this story pretty well because he's a little bit younger than I am, but I still remember what was going on, and I don't know if you know how he was enhancing his blood. He could basically get into like an oxygen type chamber, and he could perform some type of I think it's called cystostasis, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he performs some type of blood enhancement type treatment to be able to have his body and his blood circulate better than normal.
Yeah,
So basically, he was just basically just cheating the system.
yeah.
So
Because wasn't it the drug would make it so that his blood ran like there was constantly more oxygen in his blood, so he would
yeah,
never sink
exactly,
into.
exactly. So by him doing that, I think it allowed him to perform better as the competition progressed through time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if it was focused on 5 or 6 different type of activities, he was able to keep his same stamina because he went through this blood enhancement type treatment. And so basically, he was cheating the system. And so the next question is: Armstrong organized and led what was perhaps the most sophisticated and comprehensive cheating program in history of sports. Who suffered from this cheating and what were the costs? Well, he started competing at a very early age. I think it was 11 in the real early teens. He started competing, and then he was able to get onto the U.S. Skating bicyclist competition. So I think the people that really suffered the most was him and his parents or his mother, because why did his mother, or how could the mother, uh, why did she not oversee what was being transformed in her son, especially with him being so young and competing in a very competitive, um, these were basically triathlon competitions. Was his health not a concern to her? And why was he not educated by his parents by, hey, if you're using something that influences your body this way, there might be health issues as you get older. So I think that maybe the people that felt the most pain out of this were especially the shock that his parents got. The shock that they got after he came up publicly and he informed everybody on during Oprah. Oprah back then was a very big mammoth superstar.
Mhm.
If you were if you were at home or wherever and you were able to watch cable TV, you were going to watch Oprah Winfrey, because that's just, she had pretty good commentaries and pretty good guests and everything. And then for him to come on Oprah and then perform this discussion that he was on enhancement type drugs that were illegal, I'm pretty sure that was a major shock to his parents. And I just hope that he was able to inform them before he went on national TV and told everybody at the same time that he publicly came out of the closet, that he was not being fair to sports. To me, I think those two were the major drivers. It was his parents were hurt, but he was also hurt because the sport that he loved so much, he just had that competitive, um, do anything to stay on top. I think it just shattered his little, um, his life, man. It just broke him.
Yeah.
And I think it's, hey, there goes Cesar.
Yeah.
Hey, Cesar.
Hey,
You have
sorry
that?
for the
You have that baby yet?
no yet.
Not yet.
Sorry.
Man,
Yeah, probably going to take a couple days more. So, well, we need to wait a little.
that's right. The baby knows when he's ready. No one else.
Yeah, you will know it.
Okay. Well, we've already had the prayer, and we're on question number 6.
Okay.
And I've already discussed of who suffered from this cheating and what were the costs. And this is on the Lance Armstrong talking agenda. And as I was telling Justin, I think those were the two individuals that were hurt the most were his parents and Lance Armstrong through this. It was heartbreaking for him not to realize that he was committing and testing his integrity on the sport.
Yeah. Another person some of the other people that I can kind of see that were influenced upon this were some of his fellow teammates. Like,
Yeah.
even segues a little bit into the next question of whether Hamilton and Landis were too loyal to him.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understood, it was Armstrong who kind of introduced the other teammates to these kind of drugs. He introduced them to the doctors that would provide them the drugs to be able to receive these stimulants. And so I kind of feel they were a little bit too loyal to him because, like, for example, with Hamilton, he refused to admit the drug use. He refused to admit to any of it until he was subpoenaed to court. And so he wasn't willing to be forthcoming with any sort of information. And so, kind of with this whole legacy of drug use that was created, it affected the other athletes as well. That they had to begin to develop a sense of, I need these drugs in order to perform well in the sport, or else if I don't use them, I'm not going to do well. So,
Yeah, I think I since all of this about Lance Armstrong, I watched the like the last meeting with Oprah where he kind of shared everything and how he did it and everything. So it was really interesting the impact of like all the people that believes in him, like being at the top and then like go at the bottom in a couple seconds, right? So I believe that some of the people that also suffer is his fans, the people that defend him while he was being attacked from USAD and everything. Um, that they were like, no, he's innocent and everything, and but then suddenly they realize that he's guilty. So they suffer. Even like there's a part where he says that his son or his one of his children defend him from the attacks of like he was being dope and everything. But then like once everything show up, like he started like realizing that he was defending someone that should not be defended, right? So I believe like everyone that consider him an example have a bad impact when that when that came out.
Okay. Yes. Okay, the next question is, think about a situation where you witness a leader, formal or informal, make a decision for others that made you uncomfortable. What was the situation and how'd you feel about it? I'm gonna leave that one open to one of y'all, and then I'll respond. What do you think, Justin? If you had one, great. If not, no worries.
I have a better example for the next question rather than this one. I kind of struggled thinking of a good example for
Okay.
this one.
Okay. I guess I can say my example on this one. I remember we were having a major discussion on a major project in North America, and I was asked to deliver an analysis of the construction related activities for this project. And my leader inflated some of the cost data that I provided him. And by him doing that, it made me realize that he went above and beyond my gathering of my work, and he overinflated a lot of the cost. Later on, him and I discussed it with the other team members, and it made me very uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable to the fact that he was going outside the metrics of our processes that were implemented in our department, and so that made me feel real uncomfortable. And I later on asked him, since you basically own the dollars or the analysis, do you not consider that to be an integrity issue for going outside what the processes call for an analysis of this magnitude? And he said, well, all fair to say is the project probably won't happen until 2022. He said, basically, I'll be retired by then. So, you know, that makes you think, is just because you're getting ready to retire in the next 2 or 3 years, would you really take a risk of either getting fired or risking the integrity of the group for just trying to make something happen, like getting a project approved and things like that? So it made me relate to this story right here, is how your integrity is related to the character of each person. So as you follow a straight line, your character becomes stronger. And I figured I'd share that with you guys. If there's processes, some people spend a lot of time to create a lot of processes, and it's up to the individuals to follow these processes. And if you feel that the processes are not lining up the way they should, instead of modifying it, maybe bring it up during a different team meeting to bring up these concerns. So I figured that would be a good relationship type of example that I wanted to share with you guys.
Thank you.
Okay. The next question is, think about a situation where you witness talented followers follow a leader into an uncomfortable or bad zone. What was the situation? I think, Justin, you said you had something for this one, or was it the next one? Okay.
It was this one. So it was actually while I was on my mission. We were on our way from traveling from the MTC. We were heading out to the field, and I served my mission in Africa. So it was a 24-hour just on plane journey to get to my mission. And so as we were on our way there, we had a 12-hour layover in London. And so as we get there, we get checked into the London airport, and we're sitting there just kind of sitting down, getting comfortable. And one of the elders in my group had this idea of, hey, we're going to be here forever. Like, I know there's a subway in here somewhere that we can go hop on. We can go do a tour of London. Be super cool. We can go check everything out, and then we can come back. And there's a lot of really good missionaries in my group as we're heading out. And there were quite a few of them like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's go do it. And I just had this nasty feeling in the pit of my stomach of, that's not a good idea, right? Because there was just so many variables of what could go wrong. And so, like, I voiced my concerns, but most of them were like, no, we want to go do it. We want to go do it. It'll be super fun. So I stayed with the luggage with a couple of other missionaries that were either too tired or didn't want to go, and the rest of the group went off to go try and tour London. And thankfully, nothing became of it, because 20 minutes later they came walking back saying the tickets were too expensive to leave the airport. But like, it could have been in a really bad situation of either they missed the plane coming, like something happened as they're trying to come back into the airport, they missed the plane, or just a whole all sorts of other worst case scenarios that could have played out. But I was very grateful that they didn't. But it could have been a very, very bad situation had something gone wrong.
That's a good example. Cesar, do you have something like that?
But for the previous question regarding when you are disappointed by a leader. It's actually I remember this because it was like on my mission. I had divisions with the zone leaders, and one of them was someone that a really good friend of mine, and we were like excited to have the divisions, be able to work together and everything. Um, but then once I was in the mission, they started to use this like DVD thing to watch the videos and everything. So you have like a DVD, and I remember that he shared with me. He opened his bag, and then there was like what easy. It could be around 20, 25 movies, like pirate movies, the these ones that you buy in the street and everything, and that he have collected during his mission. And like he was like, oh KB, look, see, I got this and this and this and this. And I was like kind of surprised because I was kind of new. I had like 8 months to be in the mission, and everything like was this like a level of perfectness and everything. And then I realized that it's not like that. That we have many missionaries that are not as correct as they should, and so that was really disappointed because I thought like, okay, so I mean, if these are the zone leaders, what could be the that they are um, for the other missionaries, right? And so that was like kind of disappointing moment personally with that zone leader. So that was like the example that I have regarding that moment with the leader disappointing.
Perfect. Yeah, those are very good examples. Especially with you guys doing the missions and being around multiple people 24 hours a day. That gives you a pretty good illustration of temptations in multiple situations.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 10 is what basic principles guide your integrity? What guides your integrity?
I believe that you need one of the things that will guide either your integrity or your lack of integrity will be if you know who you are, right? If you know what is the importance of this in your life, right? So I think you need to recognize who you are, what's the position that you would like to have in your life, in your professional life, in your personal life, and everything, and that will make you realize the importance of this part. And the honesty in your actions, not because they are watching you, not because they are have like the information they will catch you, rather than because that's the way that you are, right? So I think that you need to be
Hold on.
to yourself, especially when no one will unit that you are around and you know what you are doing. So I believe that recognize yourself and be honest with
Okay. For me, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I had to leave the living room where I was at. My wife had a visitor. She's real big into arts and crafts, so she's trying to work with a couple of sisters from the ward. So basically, they just told me to get out. But anyway, what's a good illustration for me is honesty. The principles that guide my integrity are the honesty. I think that's the fastest and the most proficient way for me to test my integrity is just to be honest. And if I see a gray area, just challenge the individual and ask, it might be myself, challenge myself and ask myself, will that issue impact my integrity? And I think that right there would realign myself to stay constant. You know, if we look at our gospel, have you ever thought about that God is constant? He never changes, but everything around God changes. So in other words, I'm not constant. God is constant. He keeps me in the righteous plan, and he offers a lot of opportunities for me, but there's a lot of temptations out there for me especially. I have 9 brothers. I remember when I joined the church, when because my wife is a Mormon. She's been a Mormon all her life, and she pulled me away from that type of lifestyle. And every day I thank God for the changes that he has made towards me. And so back to my brothers, I pulled away from them, and they're not part of my life. I try to get them to receive and to have the gospel in their lives, but they're happy what they do, and all I can do is just pray for them to be happy. And so I think for the guide for me is God, Jesus, and my wife for keeping my integrity at bay every day. Okay. Question number 11. How will you personally measure your life? I'm going to leave that open to one of you guys.
I just think kind of the best tool of measurement when it comes to something as broad as how do we measure our lives is kind of just seeing the good we've done, because that's kind of one of those things that it's not always very easy to find a good measurement or a good way to kind of see those kind of results. But even if if I was able to help one person a day, that day can be considered a success, in my opinion. It would be a matter of just going through and finding those things that help me, that help others. And if I can help one person, then I count that as a success.
How about you, Cesar?
I remember that I was watching this video where it says like the success of the people is actually reaching their goals, right? So I believe that I will measure my life by the level of achievement of the goals that I set up, especially when those goals are like something that challenge me, and also by the positive effect, like the positive effect that the journey to my goals can cause in other people, right? So if I want to be like a professional in this area, um, what effects I will have in the people around me, people that my family, my friends, and all this. So I believe that will be the best measure of what type of lives I have. It's like one, it's set up like challenging goals, and then to reach them, and to reach them without the necessity to skip the games of the rule games. So playing by the rule and achieving the objectives that I have.
Okay. You know, I'm a very just I'd say in the last probably 8 years I started measuring goals that were related to my life, and in doing that, I wanted to make these goals reachable because I read a book one time is you make your goals that they're reachable, because if they're reachable, you will feel good about yourself. If you make 100 goals in 1 year, but they're reachable, in the end, that equates to one major goal. So, I don't know. I guess I just like doing I like doing that type of practice to be able to perform and make myself feel good, because there's so much emotionally you just don't want to fail, right? And I just want to be able to measure myself and all the successes and feel good about myself. And that's how I do it, is make it reachable year after year. Alrighty. And I don't know, Justin, did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, no, I think you covered it pretty well, thanks.
Okay. Well, how about Cesar, do you have something else you want to share?
Um, just that I really like this case because something that caught my attention about him is that he accepted that he did it, but he did not entirely accept that he was doing something wrong. So watching the interview, you and reading the comments, it says that he was a sociopath. Sociopath, I don't know. And I try to go to the concept of what that means, and it's something like it's a person that actually lies and do not consider that he is lying, right? So I mean, there was these jokes like, how do you know if Lance Armstrong is it's lying? And it was like he's moving his lips, right? So his credibility was affected in a level that we cannot even imagine. Um, how people have him at the top and then like was like at the bottom of the line. So and that you make it work for a long time, and that you are saying that it's not something wrong, will not will not change the effect that it's actually something wrong, and that at some point you will be catch. In his case, he was able to win 7 tours, but at the end he was catch and he lose them, and he lose his credibility. He lose the working with this Livestrong organization and everything. So life could be something really, really bad, and we need to, I mean, be careful with what's the price that we want to pay for win. Right?
Yeah. What is the price? Right, Cesar. What is the price that you're willing to test your integrity, get caught, and get embarrassed?
Yeah,
That's what I gathered from you. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to get embarrassed on something like that.
No
definitely.
way.
Oh man, that's unreal. But that was our case study for today, and I guess we were on for 38 minutes. Not quite an hour, but we were on there pretty good. This was a short case, but I think it was a good talking point, and I want to appreciate you guys joining me and helping me develop. And I guess we'll do it again next Wednesday.
Yep.
Same time.
Yeah.
Same bet channel.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, I
Who do
hope.
you lead in next week?
I think you, Justin, and then Cesar. So I guess you guys have a good weekend. And any major plans for Thanksgiving that might impact our meeting? Y'all just don't have to answer right now, but keep that in your mind. Cesar, I don't know about you, but in Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving, there's a lot of families that get together here in the U.S., and that's the week of the 23rd of this month. So if we have to change time, we can do it. Just let me know, okay?
Okay.
And I guess I'll hear you guys next week.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
enjoy your
good.
weekend.
You guys have a good week.
All right. Bye-bye.